Hey everybody, Maico here for the Fellowship of Acoustics, and welcome back to another week of new arrivals where me and my colleague Milo choose 2 guitars each to see who chose best. And it's with a theme. Last week we had a theme of choosing guitars under 3,000 euros and Milo won. You get to choose who wins, and Milo won. You chose a beautiful Martin guitar. This week's theme is a little bit different. We are actually going to choose the best vintage electric guitar that we can find in the store. So let's not wait any longer. Let's go. So there are actually only a few places that we can look. We have a vintage guitar room, we have a safe which has a lot of vintage guitars, and we have the new vintage guitars coming in. So let's start in the vintage room. This is actually a nice deluxe with mini humbuckers. Ooh, this one actually has been in our store before, because this is a 60s, somewhere in the 60s, Chet Atkins, I'm sure. 64. I'm pretty sure that we have a really cool demo of Live de Leeuw playing this guitar, and it sounded phenomenal. And it's the 64 Chet Atkins signature with the F holes not actually being holes. So that is one to definitely keep in mind. What is that actually? That looks pretty good. Can I climb on something here? Yeah. This looks very good actually. 75. Whoa. So it's either Telly or Gretsch for now. So actually everything that you see on this wall is vintage. And just a disclaimer, vintage in our store means that it's older than 30 years. So that means I'm vintage as well. Anyway, I'll leave this for Milo, because I know he really enjoys those kind of guitars. I'm gonna remember this, but first let's have a look at the marketing department. Let's go over there. Let's take a sneaky route. Here you have Jasper working very, very hard. And he's 3D printing all of our guitars right over there in the corner, right there. That's a 3D printer, yes, printing all the guitars. Let's just check before I move on if there's anything vintage in here. The 125. I've chosen these models pretty often in the past. There we go. Some arch tops. Martin ruining the shot once again. What I actually like is the fact that this one has flat wounds on it. We don't do that on all of these old ones, but this one's pretty cool. I like arch tops, but I like 335s even more. Straight for the vintage case. I knew this was here. Slightly cheating, but not really. This is actually a 335 that was owned by someone who you might know, because it's Tom. What's really cool about this is that it's a burgundy finish, but it's very, very faded. So this is something you don't see every day. It's a 68, if I'm correct. Yeah. Beautiful slim neck actually on this guitar. And yeah, you saw it, you heard it. I was not lying about it. This is gonna be my first pick.
Thank you all for your votes on the Martin 0015M. I also thought it sounded particularly great. We're looking for vintage electrics. So I believe Michael already showed this beautiful Gibson Les Paul from '73. I think it sounds pretty resonant. Cool. We're going to leave that in. Show the perpetrator. There he is. It's a real joy working at the Fellowship of Acoustics. And I also know there's already one option down. I spotted this before Michael started filming it. I hoped he wouldn't pick it, but of course he did. This is such a special ES335. So I'm really jealous of Michael's choice because I really wanted to pick this one. When this was first in our store, before Tom bought it, I played this. And to me, it was almost the perfect electric guitar. I think I could own this and only play this for the rest of my life. It looks incredible as well, but it feels special. It sounds really wonderful. So I'm looking forward to playing this a little later. So what I spotted over here is my favorite model. I've said it time and time again. Fender Jazzmaster, a 63 one. Have a look at this. So this has a story to tell. I believe this was once an 8-string Jazzmaster, as you can see here. I also heard that we received another vintage Jazzmaster. It's not yet in this place. It still needs to be checked, but maybe we can do a quick comparison while we're here. So at the moment we have two 63 Jazzmasters in the building. Laura, can you hold this? Let's test Laura's arm strength. There we are. Two 63 Jazzmasters. That's really, really cool. So this one will be on the website later. Maybe it's a pick for a later new arrivals, but man, that's really cool. So my first impression of this, a lot of things have been changed. New bridge, so it did have some extra strings on it once in its lifetime. Then I can see maybe they changed the fingerboard. The dots seem non-correct for the period. They need to be clay dots and a little bit bigger. So maybe they changed the complete fingerboard. Of course, we're going to dive into this. All of our ad writers know perfectly well what a Jazzmaster from 63 should look like. So we'll have all the specifics later on the website. But I don't really care if people change things about electric guitars in particular. If it still plays good, if it sounds good, then it's fine to me. So I don't need it to be really mint or anything. Yeah, I think I'm just going to pick this. This has to be my first choice for these new arrivals.
So here at the copywriter's desk, they all have these beautiful tools to measure all these very precise little distances between strings and stuff. And we put all of those details up on the site so that it's easier for you to make your choice. And one of these people working here is Colin. And Colin always does the beautiful inspections of these guitars. And he also has a vintage guitar on his desk. And he specifically asked me to choose him to show this guitar. So there we are. Les Paul Custom, right?
Correct.
Correct. 73, right?
Correct.
He knows everything, this guy. I do want to check out the vault because that's the one other place we did not look. We've had this beauty on the show before. We've also made a video about this 60 Strat. This is 28 years old. It doesn't qualify as vintage. Those are interesting. Actually, I could just show you real quick because we got a set in. This guitar that's in here is actually a master build guitar, and we have a set of two. So it's the same master builder who created two different guitars, a Strat and a Tele. And this is that Strat, a master build. And we're actually not selling these separate yet. This is a set, and this is the Tele. Nice. Welcome to heaven, guitar heaven. This beautiful Chet Atkins, I'm choosing this because I've heard it before. It's a very, very cool guitar. This is going to be my second pick.
Not a vintage Fender, maybe one for Laura. Beautiful Duosonic. Year is this, 66, 67. This Duosonic, it looks great. It has one of the smallest necks I've ever felt. But I know someone who likes these guitars. Martin, here, have a feel. If you like normal Duosonics, but also like the miniature guitars that Fender also makes, this is a perfect middle ground. But all jokes aside, it feels really great to play. It's a bit weird, but you have to get used to it. It sounds resonant though. And it looks beautiful. So it's a cool Duosonic. I spotted a really old Epiphone with a weird case, but this is a 39 Epiphone Zenith. Sometimes these do have pickups installed, so I don't know if this one is electric at all. It is. That's cool. I don't know this pickup personally. Do you know it? Never seen it before. But it looks to be in great condition. So it sounds really loud and full. Sometimes they can be a bit muted and pretty soft, but this is quite loud. I really like this. Has some big frets on it. I had a refret once in his life, and that's really comfortable to play. This is my top contender for now, but I'll have a look around. ES175, 59. Cool. Whoa. I don't know if this one did have a refinish once in his life. If it didn't, that's incredible. I'm personally not the biggest fan of these full-bodied archtop guitars. And yet another old archtop. Maybe it's a sign that I should pick a archtop, one of these. A 46 ES150. This is one for Berend. Shout out to Berend. This will be a difficult choice. Now that we're here, you know what it's time for?
Movie segment.
Movie segment. We'll make it a quick one this week. So we'll do favorite movies. Laura.
Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse, one of the animated Spider-Man movies, right? That's Laura's tip. My favorite movie, I think, if you ask me today, it will be There Will Be Blood by Paul Thomas Anderson with incredible Daniel Day-Lewis performance. Such a great film, and what a great soundtrack by Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead. So, Into the Spider-Verse and There Will Be Blood. Movie segment! So I'm doing a quick look around here in the vault. I think Michael has also been here. I see a lot of vintage acoustics, so those are not really applicable for this episode. I don't think there's something here that I want to pick. So I guess we're headed upstairs again. So I know it's going to be one of these archtops, and I think I'm going to call in a friend for this. Guys, can you help me out with the choice for this one? So we have 3 vintage archtops here. I have a favorite, but I just want your opinion. I'm going to pick one of these. It's one for the Zenith.
Met die uitslagplaat. ES150.
Okay, one for the ES150.
Ja, Zenith.
Zenith. 2 for the Zenith.
Ja, Zenith.
3 for the Zenith. I think we have a consensus. It's going to be the Epiphone Zenith from 1939. It will be my second pick. Everybody, welcome back. Milo here, Michael here again. And we're here in the European Guitar Room because we picked our 4 new arrivals for this week. With
4 electrics.
4 electrics, because the theme was vintage electric. So we chose our favorite, vintage electrics.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of cheating maybe on my side, but we'll talk about that later.
A little bit of cheating on my side as well, but
That's okay. Happens with new arrivals.
yeah.
So in our first episode, the previous episode, we picked guitars under 3,000 euros and you voted for the Martin 0015M.
Which is,
Thanks again.
yep.
So let's see who wins this time.
You want to start it off?
Sure.
Show me what you got.
What I have over here is a pre-war Epiphone Zenith. It's a 1939. And I have a personal connection with the Epiphone Zenith, not specifically this one, but the Zenith model in general.
Yeah.
Because I used to own a 1938 Epiphone Zenith. It was really, really great. Had a P90 in the neck. And a funny story, very close to Dedensvaart in a town called Dalfsen.
Yeah.
We have a artstop museum, and he's a really, really big collector
I've
of
seen that
Epiphone artstops. He has the biggest collection, I believe, in Europe. So I've been there before. I've played some of his artstops. Really great to see them all in one place.
Yeah.
Then I bought this Zenith from 1938, and the serial number was 13778.
13778.
That was
your personal
That was
Zenith.
my
Alright.
Zenith. So I contacted him just to be in touch with him, to talk about Zeniths, and he had one as well, so I wanted to compare them maybe. And he told me the serial number that he had, it was 13777.
Oh, really?
It's unbelievable that in 1938, those two guitars probably left the factory in New York at the same day. And
Dude,
then all these
goosebumps,
years
yeah.
later, they end up just a few kilometers from each other in the
like the
Netherlands.
smallest Dutch town possible.
That's incredible.
Damn.
So that's my personal connection with the Zenith. I don't own it anymore.
Did you donate it to the museum?
No,
Oh.
no. I offered it to him, but he
Oh,
said
really?
I already have one.
Okay.
I already have one from 38, so it's fine. I traded in eventually on the Jazzmaster that I still own, so I'm really happy with my decision. But it was a beautiful guitar.
Right.
Then this one. So the Zeniths, they started in 1931. Epiphone started their master build series. They had 7 acoustic archstops that they produced at the time. The Zenith cost about $50 back then.
Yep.
So what we have is a aftermarket pickup that we don't know the origin of.
Yeah.
So it sounds nice. It
sounds
sounds pretty
cool. Yeah.
mellow.
You've
I don't
heard it
know.
already, probably.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of pickup it is, but it sounds. It sounds.
If anyone, if you know, recognizes this, then please let us know, because we don't
Yeah.
have the exact name on it. Yeah. So maybe you can grab that.
But when I saw it here at the marketing department, I knew I wanted to pick this. I gave the opportunity to everyone over there to make a choice, and most of the colleagues picked
They
this
chose the Zenith.
Zenith.
Yeah.
There's something about these Epiphone archstops. They are quite affordable in the vintage guitar collection range, and they are really cool. So this is my first pick.
Really nice, really nice.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move on straight away to my first pick. Normally we play all these guitars and let you hear a little bit, but because Milo already played most of these guitars, well, he played all of them actually, but we're gonna show you a cool video of Live Leo playing this 1964 Chet Atkins. It's a G6120 or 6120.
Yeah.
You let me know. Yeah, Milo pointed out the first funny detail about this, which is
It's fake.
the fake F holes. F stands for fake, of course. Yeah, Chet probably had a few interesting choices about this guitar. The same with the switching systems that's on here. And something that used to be here was a mute switch.
Yep.
Disclosure, it is almost fully original. Because, well, actually it is fully original, except that it's missing this switch.
Yeah.
And there's a standby switch here, which is not connected. It's possible to connect it, but the previous owner decided to disconnect it, and we kept it in the same way that it came in. Yeah, other than that, there are 2 knobs on the top over here, which are interesting. Milo found out during playing this.
For me, it's a pretty confusing method of switching and
Yeah.
making tones, but
I think
now
it's
I know what they mean. But
Yeah, because when you were playing it, you had no idea what they did.
no,
But the thing is that this is your normal pickup selector, and the one behind here is called a tone switch. And basically what it meant is it's a preset knob. When you flick it down, you actually have like a high...
capacitor or something. Or
Sorry?
different capacitor or something that it goes through. Or?
Honestly, I'm not sure about that specific detail, but it resembles the idea of a bridge, which is rolled back a little bit on the tone. And the same goes for the neck. So, a tone circuit. Chet's idea here was that during a solo, instead of having to go down to fiddle with the knobs, he could just flick a switch and be in a different tone circuit, like a preset actually.
Yeah. What you also see on Jazzmasters with the rhythm circuit, of course.
Kind of the same,
Yep.
yeah. And then when you have it in the center position, these two knobs are engaged
So
together.
this, back in the day, this was a kill switch. When you're playing some metal, you can just...
That's definitely true.
Okay.
Yes, it's a kill switch. Pickups, dual Filtertron pickups,
Yep.
completely original. Lovely orange, and this is the funny part about this guitar. Because this is actually here just, well, it's a back cover, but it's a back cover to cover up the back cover. It's right there.
But when you're wearing your big belt buckle,
Yeah.
you want to rock out.
Honestly, I'm not completely sure why this would be on here. If you know, once again, let me know. But it's probably to keep the belt from scratching the back
Yeah, I think so.
on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting guitar. A favorite of Live de Leo, who played all these demos here a while back.
It does really bark. This
It
one.
does really bark.
Yeah,
It's
and live can get that out of guitars in a great way. So
yeah.
you will have seen him play this in the video.
Yeah, I think that's mostly it. I mean, the bridge on here is a Bixby.
Yep.
And yeah, that's it. That's my pick.
Very nice.
On to yours.
Okay,
Number
so
2.
my story that I just told about the Zenith also leads me to this guitar. Because I picked a 1963 Jazzmaster. And that was actually the guitar that I traded
trade-in.
my Zenith on. And not this one, but also a 63 Jazzmaster.
Full circle here.
Full circle. So what we have here is a guitar that is beaten down. Has had some adjustment throughout its lifetime. Just to mention a few.
Yeah. Walk me through it.
Yeah. So what we see here are
holes.
3 holes. This might have been a 9-string at once.
Oh, really? So they
Yeah.
added octaves on the other strings, or
I think
probably
so.
something like that.
That would be the most logical thing, so that the upper 3 strings would have a double.
I wonder who did that, though.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear some music.
But we do see it a lot here in the Netherlands. We see a lot of vintage Fenders that were tweaked a lot. And
Yeah.
we see these kinds of things. We see extra strings, and we see a lot of different pickups and switches. And we had a synth guitar pickup that was installed in one of the
Yeah. In one of the
not too long
Strats,
ago, yeah.
64 Strat, yeah.
So also this has also had a touch up of the finish. It's really dark, dark paint here on the edges.
Yeah. And some woody
So that's not
tints
original.
coming through.
A non-original bridge. We have a non-original nut. It's a brass nut right now. Also, let's see. Oh yeah, the fingerboard. That was the first thing that stood out to me because I think the complete fingerboard has been replaced.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What
So,
made you think that? Can you explain?
Because it should have clay dots.
Oh,
it
yeah.
doesn't have. It
That's
does have.
true,
It does
actually.
have pearl dots right now, and they are too small. So they're really small dots. They should be clay and they should be a little bit bigger, but they aren't filled in. They weren't bigger in the past. So I think the whole fingerboard has been replaced.
Yeah.
And we grabbed these guitars during our New Arrivals episodes just before our marketing department really
Dives into the details.
in the details. So sometimes we don't know exactly about the specification, but they will be on the website once this episode goes up. So you will see it there. So I believe they replaced the entire fingerboard.
Very
But
interesting.
all these modifications, they don't really matter to me. If it's a great sounding Jazzmaster, then it's okay.
Of course, I
and
mean-
it's with any electric guitar.
Yeah, it's the tool, right? If the tool makes you play the way you want to play, then that's the right tool for you.
Yeah, it's different with acoustics.
True.
They are more fragile. You want them to be a little bit more pristine, a little bit more mint. But a electric guitar, vintage guitar being mint doesn't really matter to me. And it also does something to the price because compared to other 60s Jazzmasters, it is more affordable.
Yeah.
So you have to live with the changes that it had.
We have a vintage brother in store, right?
Yeah, it's not yet checked, so maybe in another week of new rifles. But we do have 2 63 Jazzmasters right now. But it's cool. It was
Very
a nice
cool.
string.
Very cool. Nice choice. Yeah. All right. So on to, well, not just but just the showstopper, if you ask me. Milo knows this one as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people here know this one. It's a Gibson ES335 in a sparkling burgundy finish from 1968.
Yes.
And the reason why we all know this guitar, well, honestly, I didn't know it until you told me. This was actually pre-owned by, you might know him, Tom.
Yep.
Tom Punt. Our beloved colleague who does a lot of these demos, and he got a really nice deal on a very old L5.
Yep.
And he really fell in love with that guitar, so he had to let something go. And he's quite the collector, so yeah.
He has a great taste in guitars.
Yeah, this is one of them. I mean, this finish is really something I've never seen before.
Yeah.
Because it's fully original. Actually, I asked him before we started shooting this video. It has had a refret at some point in time. Previous owner to him had it done. Pickups are original. They look touched up and everything, but he assured me they are completely original. We have photos up on the website. They are the patent no pickups, which might say something to you.
Yeah.
Patent number. I mean,
the neck has been worn down.
this is just pretty cool. Yeah. You can see the finish of the wood here, and then you have like the gold, the silver. That's and on the back, actually, this Tom told me is what the guitar used to look like the most, like this dark reddish burgundy.
Yeah, faded out a bit.
Yeah, and it's really cool. You've played it.
I've played it. I played it when it first came in our store, and I talked to Tom about this guitar a lot. And man, when I first played it, I just fell in love. This was one of these guitars that you could have as your only electric guitar for the rest of your life. It does everything. It sounds so good. Those pickups sound so
Very growly.
good. I really love this guitar.
Nice.
So I'm quite jealous of your choice.
I can totally understand. One thing, the 335, in my opinion, I own one as well. They are, like you said, the one of the most versatile guitars out there. And what sets this one apart a little bit to me is actually the slimness of the neck at the top of the nut. It really feels like a slim Les Paul, maybe even, which is really comfortable to play. It's got the small blocks, and it's got actually a long tenon, means that this is actually a little bit more situated back into the body, and 68 was the last year they did that.
Okay.
So after that, a little bit less contact between the neck and the body. Very cool specimen. Cool guitar.
It's a great guitar. So if you're interested, be quick. This is just a special instrument.
It really is. That was my second guitar. All right, so that sums up all of these 4 guitars. That was it for today, I guess. It's up to you once again to choose one of these guitars. Let us know on the community tab of our YouTube channel.
There's a poll there. You can vote. You can also leave a comment down below. We also count these votes. And also let us know if you have an idea for a theme. For
I was going to say that. Yeah, if you have an idea, let us know, because we're always open to ideas.
Yep.
And I think that sums it up.
That's it.
See you again next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.